Imagine if you went from feeling fine every day to feeling amazing. How would your life be different? Everyone has the ability to feel amazing again and again. You just need the right tools to get there. If you're ready to feel amazing, stick around. Now, here's the host of the I'm Not Fine show with functional nutrition coach Lizzie Ens.
Welcome back, everyone. We are here for another amazing show today. And I have to tell you, I'm really excited to dive into this topic today because this is something that I love to talk about, which is our immune system, especially this time of the year. I'm your host, Lizzie Ens, on the I'm Not Fine show. And I want to tell you a little bit of a backstory on this because if you are new here, I want you to understand why we do the show the way that we do and why I talk about the things the way that I do. I've said this before and I will say this again. When your body is telling you something, if you have signals, if you're not feeling well, but you're being told that you are fine based on your labs, then that is your body giving you signals that you're not fine. Hence, I'm not fine, because so many times people are told that they're fine based on their labs. But the reality is that's only a small picture of what is really going on. The most important thing here is that we tune in to what is our body actually telling us. And that can be a really difficult thing to learn because we don't know what we don't know. Okay. And so sometimes it takes someone to come in and look at and listen to you and what your body is telling you, how you're feeling, and not only look at what the labs are telling you. So if you are someone that has gone to the doctor over and over, and you feel like you're on this hamster wheel of trying to figure out what is wrong, and you're being told, well, your labs look fine, there's nothing else I can do, and you're walking away frustrated, you're upset, you're angry because you're like, I know I'm not fine because this is how I'm feeling. That is partially of why this show is called I'm Not Fine, because so many people are not fine. But I want you to think about this for a minute here. If you are someone that is on this hamster wheel of, I'm going back to the doctor, I'm doing the same thing every single day, and you're expecting different results, then I want you to shift your thinking here and go, okay, I cannot go back on this hamster's wheel every single day doing the same thing over and over and expect different results. So if you are someone that is on that hamster wheel where you're like, I keep going back and I want my doctor to tell me something different, I want them to help me and figure out what is wrong, but you're not getting there, it's time for you to take a different approach. And that different approach may be that you go and you work with someone like me or someone that does similar work as me, and we're looking at things far beyond just what the medical lab results are telling you. That is what I do. And if you are someone that is in this place where you want to get off the hamster wheel and you want to get some real answers, I want to invite you to go to the show notes here, go to my website, Instagram, TikTok, wherever it is that you're following me, and grab that booking link. And I want you to book a consultation with me. And I want to sit down on a one-on-one consultation with you and look and listen to what is really going on. And then we can discuss what that would look like for you to make some changes and figure out what is going on and what do you need to do to start feeling better and help you heal your body. But this is something that I had a conversation with a recent client of mine who was kind of on this vicious cycle of getting up every single day, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And I told her, I said, listen, you cannot get up every single day, do the same things every single day, expecting a different result. You have to look at what is it that you're doing and what do you need to change and do differently if you want to see results. And that's what we do. So that's why I want to invite you, if you are someone that is stuck on that hamster wheel of not getting answers and not getting help, that's why I want to invite you in. And we can have that consultation and we can talk about what that would look like. And then you get to decide from there what it is that you would like to do. Okay, that's my invitation because I know that there's so many people that are in that place of being stuck. You're hurting, you're frustrated, and you're angry with where things are at, and you need to take a different approach. So I'm inviting you in with that. Okay, let's get into today's show. We are going to talk about the immune system. Now, the immune system is something that is very, very intricate, but there's so many things that we can do on a day-to-day basis to help our immune system. And I'm going to get into it as much as I possibly can, but I'm going to be straight up with you. I will not be able to cover everything in this entire next hour, but I will give you some strategic steps of things that you can do on a day-to-day basis at the end of this. So stay tuned because we're going to get juicy here. So when it comes to our immune system, our immune system is connected to literally everything in our body. Our white blood cells, which is something that when you go to a doctor, this is a pretty standard test that would get done or gets done by most doctors, is your CBC panel. And your CBC panel is going to show you where your immune system is at. Now, something to always remember, there's 5 different types of blood cells, okay? And they all have their different names and they all have their individual job, but they also work together. And if you are healthy and vibrant and you're not fighting through any kind of virus or anything like that, your white blood cells should look amazing. They should be some power. They're doing what they need to be doing. But let's say you go and get your blood drawn on a day that you have a stuffy nose, kind of like I have a little bit right now. My son's fighting something. I'm fighting a little bit of something. I'm keeping it at bay by the things that I'm doing, which is like this episode is appropriate right now because there's a lot of things that I'm doing to fight it and keep it at bay to not get like full on sick. But with that being said, if you get your blood drawn on a day that you are feeling run down and sick or partially sick, your white blood cells are automatically, which is your immune system, they're automatically gonna be elevated. So what that means is the neutrophils are like your first ones that go to combat and then come in, fight infection, virus, whatever the case may be. Those are probably going to be elevated. I actually got my blood drawn last week and I was feeling slightly run down at the moment, but I wasn't like sick. But when I got the results back, I wasn't surprised. My neutrophils, which is the first ones that come into play when you are fighting some kind of infection or virus, they were pretty elevated. And I wasn't surprised at all because I knew how I was feeling at that time. So those are always things to keep in mind. But with that being said, you can have an ongoing underlying virus going on that will have either your white blood cells too low, which means that your immune system is suppressed, or you can have an ongoing fighting infection going on that has your white blood cells elevated on a consistent basis. I'm going to tie something together here. You guys have heard me talk about Hashimoto's autoimmune disease before, okay? If you have Hashimoto's, the chances of your white blood cell levels, especially your neutrophils, the chances of those numbers being off, either suppressed or elevated, are much higher because your Hashimoto's has everything to do with your immune system. If you have not listened to my Hashimoto's episode, you should. If you are someone that has Hashimoto's, because this is an autoimmune that has to do with your immune system and you're basically what it is. So let me paint a picture here. Your white blood cells are the fighters for you. They're the thing, like let's say you cut something on your hand. The first ones that come into play to come in and fight infection are your neutrophils. They're the first to the scene. And then the second ones that come to the scene are your basophils. And they fight those infections. Now, if you have a weakened immune system, it's a lot harder for your body to fight the infections because your immune system isn't strong. So it's very, very important that we always think about what is it that we're doing to keep our immune system strong. So with Hashimoto's, your white blood cells, your immune system, because they work as detectives, they work as, they come to combat to fight off foreign invaders that are coming into your body. Like you're talking about viruses and all kinds of stuff that come in. Your white blood cells are like fighting them off. They like go to war for you and they fight off those viruses. Sometimes the virus takes over and you have to like deal with the sickness and then you get over it, right? But with that being said, for Hashimoto's, the white blood cells, they view your thyroid gland as a foreign invader. And so what the white blood cells will do is they'll go after your thyroid. And there's actually photos of, like if you just look online, you can find photos of people with a normal thyroid that don't have Hashimoto's, and then you can see a thyroid that has Hashimoto's, and you can literally see the white blood cells are like eating away at the thyroid. Some people it's a lot worse than others, but that is why your immune system is so incredibly important if you are someone that struggles with autoimmune or Hashimoto's. And I know this, and I've experienced a lot of these things because of having Hashimoto's as well. Now, antibodies, your antibodies with Hashimoto's, like immune system, right? And so there are things that you can do on a day-to-day basis, on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis to help keep those regulated. I actually had a conversation with someone about this, and Hashimoto's used to affect me immune system wise way more than it does now. Like I used to get so affected with the Hashimoto's a lot more than what I do now, even though my antibody levels are still pretty high, not nearly as high as some people. Um, from the beginning when I tested for Hashimoto's until now, every time I test, they're relatively the same. They don't really go up much. They don't really go down much. But there are things like on a day-to-day basis that can either make your antibodies go up or down. So some things that can actually make your antibodies go up, and this has to do with your immune system, your liver, and all the things that your body like does to try to protect you, is toxic things in your environment, certain food things, like if you eat a lot of gluten, that can suppress your immune system. You might be a lot more sensitive to gluten if you have hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's. And if you continuously eat that, it can suppress your immune system. And now all of a sudden your body is detecting it as fighting an infection. Then your immune system goes into overdrive. So a lot of people that have Hashimoto's or hypothyroidism, they are sensitive to gluten. Whether you really know it or not, they are. Not everybody, but most people are. And it has nothing, it has very little to do with the actual gluten itself. It has to do with the way it was processed. Glyphosate, the way they raise it, and then the way that they process it. That's the actual problem. If you go to France and you eat gluten, you're probably going to be fine anywhere in Europe because they process it differently and they're not using the terrible products that they're using in America, which is very, very unfortunate. So with that being said, that is kind of like an overview of your immune system and the immune system's job. Now, we're going to go to our first break here in just a little bit. But when we come back, I'm going to dive into what are some things that can decrease your immune system? What are things on a day-to-day, especially now that we're in the holidays? Like, why do people get sick? All of those things. So don't go anywhere because this is about to get juicy with all of these things. And then after that, we're going to talk about some things that you can do on a day-to-day basis to make sure that you are helping your immune system properly. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. I'm Lizzie Ens on the I'm Not Fine show.
We often get used to just feeling fine instead of reaching to feel excellent or even good. Wellness is about feeling good, and that is a journey of continually coming back to what is nourishing and healing for us. Your body is functional and ever-changing, like a pendulum swinging. We must learn how to move with our bodies. Tuning into I'm Not Fine with functional nutrition coach Lizzie Ens will provide you with simple but effective tools that you can use right away, so you can go from feeling just fine to feeling amazing. Listen for I'm Not Fine on Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, and 12 p.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is I'm Not Fine with Lizzie Ens. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to Lizzie at undietyourself.live. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. We are talking about the immune system today. And I think that this is the perfect time to go over this because guess what? We are in the middle of the holiday season. And when we are going through the holiday seasons, a lot of times, this is when people start saying, oh, we're in the flu season. Everybody's getting sick. And I don't want to say that, I kind of want to say this, but the flu season isn't necessarily even really a thing. There's a reason that everybody or a lot of people get sick during this time of the year. And I will tell you why. Okay, so let's go over some of these things. One of the number one reasons that people easily get sick during this time of the year is excess sugar. So you're eating an excess sugar consumption. And one of the things that can happen when you're eating a lot of sugar is that it suppresses your immune system. So you're bringing the function of the immune system down by having excess sugar. And we all know that that's just part of the holiday season, right? Like, but you get to choose, right? You get to choose how much of the sugar you're actually going to have. Here's something that I teach my clients. Just because it's there doesn't mean you have to overconsume it. You have a choice. You get to decide. Now, if you say, hey, I don't care, I want to enjoy this time by overconsuming on sugar, that's your choice. You get to decide. But just know that if you obsessively overconsume, there's consequences internally with your immune system and your gut health that can have this like ripple effect of over consuming in sugar. Now there's other things as well. This is something that happens with the white blood cells, right? White blood cell, I wanna read you this real quick here. White blood cells shrink in response to sugar exposure. 3 ounces of sugar in any form results in about a 50% reduction in white blood cell activity for anywhere from 1 to 5 hours. So if you're eating, this is just 3 tablespoons or 3 ounces of sugar. 3 ounces doesn't take much. Now, this is not to scare you and say, like, don't ever have sugar or anything like that, but everything in moderation, right? From anywhere from 1 to 5 hours. So think about this. You're getting together, you're traveling, you're getting together with a lot of people. If there's lots of kids or the kids are at school and the kids are probably getting more sugar than what they normally do. Now they have snotty noses, which my son does right now. Thank God school's over right now. They have snotty noses, then they pass on those germs. Their immune systems are already weakened because of the sugar consumption, and they just keep passing those germs on. That's why people get sick. It's not necessarily the flu season. We kind of like self-inflicted because we eat and drink the things that our body's not necessarily wanting or needing, right? Needing is one of those things is like, do we really need it? But I think that we have to be careful with that because the other part of it is that it doesn't mean that you can't ever have it. Doesn't mean you should never have it. But again, as I said, you get to choose. You get to choose how much. The dose really does make a difference. Okay. Number 2 here is eating foods that we are allergic or sensitive to. So this is something that's basically acting as a decoy for the immune system. If it's inflamed or tied up doing one thing, it can't readily do another by eating the foods to which you are allergic or sensitive to. This also damages the intestines. So this is something that I actually teach my clients. It's not about having to go on a specific diet to get rid of all, bad foods or quote unquote whatever. But what it is about is knowing what your body is sensitive to. And here's how sensitivity and there's a difference between being allergic and being sensitive or having an intolerance. There's 3 different things. I actually did an entire episode on this a while ago. So that's another one that you could go take a look at. But here's how the immune system can work when we are consistently eating things that we are sensitive, intolerant, or allergic to. Sensitivities and intolerance are much harder to detect than an allergy. A sensitivity or an intolerance can show up 72 hours after you eat the actual food. Some people are a lot more sensitive to it, so they might feel it within an hour. Okay. Now, here's what can happen. If you are someone, let's say, for example, you are someone that is sensitive or allergic to eggs, and you take eggs out because it doesn't feel good, right? You get sick all the time. You can never really get rid of that cold. You always have like phlegm in your throat. You're always bloated. And it's really difficult for you to recover when you do get sick. You take the eggs out. That's just one food. But you take the eggs out, and all of a sudden these things disappear. Let's say 2 months later, you haven't healed, because remember, this also damages your intestinal tract. When you cut these foods out, it's really, really important to take proper steps to let and help your intestines and your body heal so that you don't have to be sensitive to them anymore. It's not good enough to just cut everything out. The good thing is your gut lining can heal very, very quickly within like 3 to 5 days. There's turnover if you give it the right things. But let's say 2 months after cutting out eggs, you're feeling great, you're feeling amazing, you go somewhere and you have eggs again. And all of a sudden you start having brain fog, you start bloating, you got sick because you were traveling and all that. And it literally could have been because of the eggs, because you were sensitive to, because remember, it decreases your immune system. So remember how I said, like, if you're inflamed because of a food that you're eating and you're continuously eating, what the body is actually doing is focusing on that inflammation and not able to work on the other things that it needs to be working on. Perfect example of a client of mine in this last week. So we've been going back and forth. You've been feeling major brain fog, even depression, anxiety, just feeling like life was such a big mountain to lift. Like everything felt and looked like it was a mountain to do, even just getting up in the morning. And I really encouraged her. I said, and she kind of intuitively knew like she needed to ditch gluten. But at the beginning of the week, I told her, I said, listen, you are not feeling well. And the way that everything is going right now, like I need you to commit to an entire week of no gluten. Like I need you to do that because I need to see whether or not you feel better. That was Monday. I have a call with her yesterday and she was like a completely different person within 3 days of cutting out gluten. And she's like, I cannot believe how much of a difference this makes because she's like, I feel like I want to live again. I feel like I don't have brain fog and I have energy. Everything doesn't feel as big of a deal anymore. Her anxiety is decreasing. Now, not everybody has that quick of a turnover in their results and how they feel because everybody responds differently. But just know that we knew just looking at the data and how she was responding to things that if she cuts that out for a bit, that she's going to feel better. Intuitively, we just knew that. And she saw the results of that. And so that is what can happen when we continuously eat. When we continuously eat the foods that we are sensitive to, we're continuously feeding the beast. And it's impossible for your immune system and for your body to heal the way that it needs to heal if we continue to feed the beast all the time. Unfortunately, gluten is one of those things that is very addicting. Same thing with dairy. Gluten and dairy are the two things that seem to be the hardest things for people to get rid of. And I think it's because they're really addicting. I mean, if you have a gluten tortilla, it does taste better than a non-gluten tortilla. Let's be real. But it doesn't mean you feel better after. Number 3 is alcohol consumption. Excessive alcohol consumption can damage the immune system because the alcohol will prevent nutrients from feeding your immune health. The alcohol is absorbed into your bloodstream through both the stomach and the intestines and the digestive system. Also, you overload your liver. So when your liver gets overloaded with alcohol, high sugar, all of those things, it can't detox and methylate as it needs to. That will cause your immune system to get suppressed because it can't do its job. Once alcohol is in the bloodstream, alcohol will reduce the white blood cell count in the body, much like sugar. So the lower the number of white blood cells, the more difficult it is to fight off disease. So if your white blood cells are too low, it's much harder to recover from some kind of disease or illness that is coming in. So really watch your alcohol. You need to know what your liver numbers are. Like you should be getting your liver numbers checked like every 6 months. Make sure that you're good. Your liver numbers are your ALT, your AST, and you should be checking your alkaline phosphatase as well. And those are the things that are going to come in through a standard test. Like your doctor should be looking at those. But the problem with pathological ranges is their ranges are so wide. So where they look at where they want to see those ranges is so different than like an optimal range. So they may be like, well, your liver's fine, but it's actually not fine. Like I've seen, like in a functional range of AST and ALT, it's more or less like a 15 to a 24. Whereas in a pathological range, it could be like from a 20 to a 40. And I've seen people with their liver numbers in their 40s, and I'm like, your liver is not very happy right now. But in a pathological range, they look at it and they're like, oh, you're fine. But the signs show differently. So make sure that you take care of your liver. Again, I have an entire liver episode. You can check that one out too and learn how to take care of your liver as well. We got to go to our next break here, but I promise you, I have a few more things that I'm going to talk about what can really suppress or heighten your immune system. I'm going to go over those when we come back, and then I'm going to give you some strategic steps on how to help your immune system as well. So please don't go anywhere. I'm Lizzie Ens, your host on the I'm Not Fine show. We'll be right back.
We often get used to just feeling fine instead of reaching to feel excellent or even good. Wellness is about feeling good, and that is a journey of continually coming back to what is nourishing and healing for us. Your body is functional and ever-changing, like a pendulum swinging. We must learn how to move with our bodies. Tuning into I'm Not Fine with functional nutrition coach Lizzie Ens will provide you with simple but effective tools that you can use right away, so you can go from feeling just fine to feeling amazing. Listen for I'm Not Fine on Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, and 12 p.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is I'm Not Fine with Lizzie Ens. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Lizzie at undietyourself.live. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And I just want to say this one thing. If you are someone that continuously listens to this show, whether it's on Apple, whether it's on Inspired Choices Network, Spotify, YouTube, wherever it is, if you are someone that is enjoying this and you love what is being shared, please give us a rating. Give me a rating on this show. Let us know what you're thinking, and then share it with your family or your friends. I've literally had people reach out to me and be like, I listened to every single episode and it's changed my life. And that's what I want. That's why we talk about the things that we do here, why I share the things that I do. And I like to simplify things in a way that you can understand it. That's what I'm here for. But let me know, give me feedback so that I know and how to continue to provide the valuable information that I want to share for you guys so that you can walk away feeling more equipped and empowered with your health. Okay. Let's continue to talk about the immune system. Number 4 on this is a diet that is deficient in certain nutrients. So this is why Eat the Rainbow is so important, because when we eat the rainbow, we're getting a variety of vitamins and minerals that we need. Some of the nutrients that we want to make sure that we are getting on a day-to-day basis is your phytonutrients, like your vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, your zinc. You can get all these things through food. Now, I will be honest with you, like for myself, I take a vitamin C almost daily. I do not take a synthetic vitamin D because I don't have to. Some people do. A zinc I will take if I am feeling like my immune system needs a boost, but it's not something that I take every single day. A fat-soluble vitamin A you will get from a really, really good fish oil. I love a fermented fish oil. I actually have it linked in my Amazon storefront. It's one of the best ones that I have ever taken. You want to be careful and make sure that you are taking a really good fish oil, but this one is a fermented fish oil. And it's one of my favorite. You're going to get a really good fat-soluble vitamin A in there, and it's also the most natural form of vitamin D that you can take. So if someone's not like extremely low in vitamin D, I will have them take a fish oil first before we bring in like a high dose of synthetic vitamin D. So those are things that you can get. So if you eat fish, you're going to be getting those things. Like if you eat cod and salmon, you're going to be getting the fat soluble vitamin A, you're going to be getting your vitamin D. If you eat a variety of fruits and vegetables, you're going to be getting your vitamin C. And if you eat like pumpkin seeds and stuff like that, you're going to be getting your zinc. And there's other zinc rich foods as well. So remember the rainbow, you want variety. If you eat grass-fed beef, you're going to get fat soluble vitamin A, you're going to get your B vitamins, you're going to get your iron. So you can get a lot through food. Now, another thing that can really affect your immune system is toxic overload. So if you have excess toxic load of things in your life like heavy metals, fluoride, pollution, toxic chemicals, like think about what you cook with. Are you cooking with nonstick cookware that has Teflon in it, heavy metals, that kind of stuff? That's really hard on your immune system. If you are washing your laundry with very toxic laundry detergent, very hard on your immune system. If you are applying skin products every single day, makeup, skincare, lotion, body wash, soaps, all of those things, if you are using things that are full of chemicals, can be very hard on your lymphatic system because it's clogging your pores and your immune system. So you need to make sure that you're using natural products that are not full of chemicals, which, by the way, if you don't know this, I'm CEO and co-founder of this company called Miss Commando, and we create and sell non-toxic lotions and soaps and shea butter. And you just go to our website, misscommando.com, and you will see our raving reviews of the people that are using the product. So that's always a good start. One of the things that I always tell people is if you're going to start somewhere with a detox of all of these types of things, start with the things that you apply on your skin, because your skin is your largest organ externally. So what you put on your skin really matters, because what goes on the skin still has to be absorbed in through your bloodstream. Your liver still has to detox it and methylate it. And so what you put on has to go through the entire thing. We don't think about that sometimes, but it absorbs in through your bloodstream. And then it affects your endocrine system. So make sure that you're using quality products. I promise it makes a massive difference, especially if you're someone that has thyroid issues, autoimmune issues, if you have chronic migraines and headaches. These are things that can be affecting that. Excess stress, number 6. Excess stress can also weaken your immune system. So if you're someone that's in chronic stress, fight or flight all the time, you probably get sick a lot quicker, because that is suppressing the immune system. There's so many things that can happen there. So sleep is really important. Trauma will obviously also affect your immune system. So you will definitely see a decrease in your immune system if you have lots of surgeries. I know people that have multiple surgeries, and their immune system and their gut is just destroyed because of all the trauma from it. Well, number 1. And number 2, reoccurring antibiotics and medication. That will definitely affect your immune system. So you need to make sure that you are doing proper things to keep your immune system and your gut strong. Remember, about 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. So when you're working on taking care of your gut, you're also helping your immune system. I believe that your gut health, the health of your liver, the health of your organs, your intestines, whether small or large, those are massive in terms of how your immune system is functioning. And I already mentioned the antibiotics. Antibiotics are just something that sometimes they're necessary, but a lot of times they're overused, and they will definitely affect your immune system because they affect your gut. They can cause like a depression of the immune response for about 1 to 2 weeks minimum. So a chronic use of antibiotics can be really, really bad. Like I've already talked about that. It can be really, really hard on your immune system and your gut health. And if you're someone that is frequently exposed to infections, so it could be if you're a school teacher and you're around kids all the time and they're snotty and they, pass things along, your immune system may or may not be in constant like overdrive trying to fight that. So that's something to always keep in mind. Let's talk about a little bit about some of the things that we can do on a day-to-day basis. I already talked about some of the vitamins that are really important. Your vitamin A, your vitamin D. I want to talk a little bit about vitamin E. Vitamin E is one of the top underrated vitamins that people can use for their immune system and inflammation in their body and their gut. It is so helpful when it comes to infections and viruses. Like I always make sure that I have a vitamin E on hand. Now I don't take it every single day all the time, but if I'm feeling like I need an extra boost, like I will bring vitamin E in if I'm fighting some kind of infection or virus or anything like that. So think about how you can there's a powder that's called tocophenols, and you can buy this powder, put it in your smoothie or water, protein drink, or whatever it is. Like mix it with whatever you want, and that can be really, really helpful from a food standpoint that you are getting your vitamin E in. So very, very important. A vitamin A deficiency is actually linked to a decrease of T cells, and T cells is taking it a step further than just the white blood cells. And T cell, and it's that ability to fight off pathogens. So I'm not going to get into T cells too much because that gets pretty intricate, and I like to keep things simple here. What I want to make sure is that you guys understand what you can do to help your immune system. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about here is we do have, there's things that you can do on a day-to-day basis, like I said. Make sure you're eating the rainbow, make sure you're getting enough sleep, figure out how to get your sleep under control. So make sure that you're getting plenty sleep. Eat a well-rounded, balanced diet. That will always help. So make sure you're getting really good protein in, healthy fats, complex carbs, and then your fruits and vegetables. If you get a variety of those things, you're already helping your overall health. When it comes to the immune system, absolutely. And then what you want to think about is how do I limit some of these other things? So I want you to think about all the things that maybe you took some notes, but I want you to think about all the things that I said that can really affect your immune system. And that is your sugar consumption, your foods that you know that your body is sensitive to, and you don't feel that well when you do eat it, your alcohol, your stress, all of those things. I want you to think about the things that I mentioned, take note of that, and look at how can I set some boundaries around this stuff, and how can I make sure that I'm taking care of my health. You be surprised how much that stuff helps you just by making sure that you're keeping some boundaries around those areas. So let's say, for example, it's Christmas Day, you're waking up and you're like, oh, I want to have what's a common, like, I feel like cinnamon something is like a really common one that people love, like sticky buns or whatever it is with coffee on Christmas morning. That's fine if that's what you want to do, but what you need to think about, number one, is how is this going to make me feel? And number two, where's your protein? So if you want to feel really, really good, you want to make sure that you're bringing protein in. So what I would do on a Christmas morning, if I was getting up and having like a breakfast and then we continue our day is I would say, okay, I'm going to make some eggs, and it could be like a veggie quiche, where I'm going to make a veggie quiche. And then the side to that is going to be, sticky buns. And I'm going to have that as a treat. But I'm going to make sure that I'm getting my protein. So think about those things as you're going through this. And I promise you, you're not going to regret it. Okay. All right. We got to go to our next break here. But when we come back, I'm going to continue to talk about some of the things that you can do in order to make sure that you're taken care of, because there's still some other things that you need to be doing on a day-to-day basis to help. So don't go anywhere. I'm Lizzie Ens, your host on the I'm Not Fine show. We'll be right back.
We often get used to just feeling fine instead of reaching to feel excellent or even good. Wellness is about feeling good, and that is a journey of continually coming back to what is nourishing and healing for us. Your body is functional and ever-changing, like a pendulum swinging. We must learn how to move with our bodies. Tuning into I'm Not Fine with functional nutrition coach Lizzie Ens will provide you with simple but effective tools that you can use right away, so you can go from feeling just fine to feeling amazing. Listen for I'm Not Fine on Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, and 12 p.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is I'm Not Fine with Lizzie Ens. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Lizzie at undietyourself.live. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. We are on our last stretch here as we are talking about our immune system. And I want to remind you, we go live here every single week. And next week, we're going to be talking about how to avoid the New Year's resolution trap. You all know why I'm talking about that. Because so many people hit January and they have big, big goals. Say, this is the year. I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to lose this much weight. All the things, right? And then you get a few weeks in and you're like, this is too hard. I have to change too many things. I don't want to do this anymore. And life gets in the way and we completely get derailed. Usually about the end of January into February is when people start going, I can't do this, or it's not worth it. And part of that is because of the comfort zone that we like to be in. So it's the same thing back to what I talked about earlier on the podcast here is you can't get on the same hamster wheel every single day expecting different results. And change is hard. We have to decide that we want change. I want to just remind you, if you're listening in still here towards the end of this show, if you are someone that is in that place where you want change for real this time and you like, I know I can't do it myself and I need some help, get someone to help you. I guarantee you, if you get the right person to help you and you get the accountability and that person that can give you a plan so that you're not like jumping around on social media like, I want to try this one, I'm going to try this one, I'm going to get on this diet. Listen, you need sustainability. You need to cut out the noise of social media. And you need to work with someone that says, here's the outline, and get someone that you resonate with. It could be me. It could be someone else. Listen, I'm not for everybody. Not everybody is for me. My program is very, very in-depth. We do hormones. We look at thyroid. We do look at the gut health. It's very in-depth. And for some people, they just want to get on an eating plan and exercise. And if you're someone that's like, that's all I want, then my program's not for you, because I go much more in depth than that. So, but if you are someone that needs a more hands-on approach and needs to go deeper than just eating and exercise, then I may just be the person that you need in your life for a while to get you off on the right foot and get you feeling better. Grab that link, book a consultation with me. Let's have a conversation. Let's finish out this call today on the immune system. I want to talk about a few other things that have nothing to do with food and vitamins that we take. There are so many things on a day-to-day basis that you can do that don't involve around that. And that is, number one, I always talk about this, managing your stress. How are you managing your stress? You have to learn how to manage your stress properly, okay? Very, very important. And there's tools and tactics in place that you can do that. Number two, you got to support your lymphatic system. How do you support your lymphatic system? Walking, exercise. Exercise, exercise, exercise. Now, I'm not talking about like hours and hours of exercise every single day, but you do need to exercise. You need to move your body more than what you already are. If you're not doing anything, please start walking 30 minutes a day. If you're already walking, it's time to add to the next level. One thing that I will tell you, walking is very, very beneficial and helpful in building a habit starting out if you're not doing anything. But walking's not enough for the rest of your life. If you want to have strong skeletal muscle, you want a healthy skeletal muscle, and if you want healthy bone health, you need to do more than just walking. Because walking will get your blood flow going. It will help with your digestion, maybe even your sleep, those kinds of things. And it'll work some, but it will not strengthen your bone health that much and your skeletal health that much. So as we get older, we're a lot more liable to osteopenia, osteoporosis, especially women as we go through menopause. Like it's really, really important to bring those things in. And when we understand things from a longevity standpoint and a prevention standpoint, those things don't seem so difficult because if we want a healthy, vibrant lifestyle, we're going to bring those things in to support that. So make sure you get exercise because it supports your lymphatic system. Your lymphatic system is your detox pathway. And if you're not sweating ever, you're not detoxing as much as you should be. So you need to do things to sweat. Now, it could be saunas too, like going to a sauna. Like I probably need to go to a hot infrared sauna and sweat it out. And now in like my whole nasal system would like open up. Now there's something called thymus tapping. So we have a thymus gland that is on our chest, right by our sternum. You can actually look up videos on YouTube. Your thymus is directly connected to your immune system, and you can do thymus tapping 20 to 30 seconds at a time, like I'm doing it right now. If you're on video, you can see me do this. But if you do 20 to 30 minutes of thymus tapping, you're going seconds, not minutes. You're going to feel your immune system and your nasal system get activated, and it like gives you energy, but it gives your immune system a boost. Now, some of you guys may go, oh, that sounds too cuckoo and crazy. Well, we have glands and organs and things for a reason. And it's kind of like giving your brain a massage. Like sometimes we forget that there are things that we can do for our brain that don't have anything to do with what we're eating or how we are exercising and all of those things and sleeping, but it's like other things that you can do for it. So we massage the rest of our body. How are we taking care of our brain? Thymus tapping, really, really good. Epsom salt bath and dry skin brushing will help your immune system too because you're helping your lymphatic system. Make sure you drink lots and lots of water. We never want to forget the water because if you're dehydrated, your immune system can't do what it needs to do. So make sure you hydrate. Very, very important. Okay, we're going to go over this again. Eat a rainbow, so a variety of food, well-balanced diet. Get your protein, your complex carbs, your healthy fats, and your rainbow, which is your fruits and vegetables, so you get vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, fiber. All very, very important, and that's the base of your foundation of your health, okay? You're going to make sure you're getting good sleep. If you're not getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep, it's not enough. You have to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. This is where your body rests, digests, and heals. Immune system can't do its job if you're not getting enough sleep. You're going to get water. Make sure you get water. You're going to get exercise. Make sure you get some kind of exercise in, and then everything else is just a bonus. Your dry skin brushing, your saunas, your what's the other one I did? Your saunas. Oh, your Epsom salt bath. All of those things, they matter. So hope you took notes. And I hope this was really helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Lizzie Ens, your host on the I'm Not Fine Show. We'll be back.
Thank you for listening to the I'm Not Fine show. Lizzie Ens returns Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and 10 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, have the best week of your life by making choices that take you from feeling fine to feeling amazing.